Nicola Sturgeon will today try to mobilise the general public in her battle to wring a second independence referendum out of Boris Johnson. The First Minister will urge people in Scotland to rally round the case for Scotland's right to choose as she publishes a paper setting out the democratic case for indyref2. Ms Sturgeon is later expected to request the power for Holyrood to hold the referendum immune from legal challenge, something Mr Johnson has already said he will swiftly refuse. Ms Sturgeon has stepped up her demands for indyref2 since the SNP's emphatic win in the general election last week, when it gained 12 seats to return 47 of the 59 MPs in Scotland. The First Minister will this morning publish a government paper entitled Scotland's Right to Choose, setting out her case for transferring referendum powers from Westminster to Holyrood using a so-called Section 30 order. It will argue she has an irrefutable mandate to rerun the vote she lost in 2014. Mr Johnson says he has a mandate of his own to preserve the Union, and the no vote of 5 years ago still stands. Earlier this week, Ms Sturgeon urged other parties and Civic Scotland to come together to press for a new referendum. Today, she will appeal directly to the public, suggesting the Campaign for Hearts and Minds may be heading towards a new phase of street protests. The opposition parties said she was trying to distract attention from a mounting list of failures in public services after almost 13 years of SNP government. Ms Sturgeon, who wants to run indyref2 in late 2020, said, "There is a clear mandate for this nation to have the power to decide its own future. The result of last week's general election makes that mandate unarguable." She said the government would now update the detailed and substantive case for independence, a reference to a new white paper reflecting the SNP's changed position on a Scottish currency, depleted oil revenues and the impact of Brexit on trade and customs. She went on, "Whatever people's views on the issue of independence itself, there is a wide and growing consensus that Scotland must be able to choose its own future. Now the election is over, and the results so overwhelmingly clear, I believe that consensus is growing by the day. The demand for this country to have the right to determine its own path comes not just from me as First Minister, it flows from the people of Scotland and the verdict they delivered last week. The Scottish Government believes that right should be exercised free from the threat of legal challenge. We understand that a referendum must be accepted as legitimate, here in Scotland and the UK, as well as in the EU and the wider international community. There is no doubt whatsoever there has been a material change in circumstances since 2014. Today I urge people for more on this story, visit the news article link.